and it's a scary place, and it's very dark. But I believe that's when you grow the most, when you face your fears. That's when you grow. And so I decided I'm going to face every fear I have. I'm going to challenge myself every opportunity I get. People always try to make you feel better. They say, oh, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. Okay, great. Now I'm scared of fear. Thank you very much. I also decided to get rid of the need of approval. That is a strong addiction, the need of approval, isn't it? That I'm on the patch right now, actually. It releases small doses of approval until I no longer crave it, and I'm going to rip it off.
However, she seemed to slightly lose that off-the-wall, self-deprecating, and slightly dark humor. Many jokes became metaphors for societal change that resulted in clapter.
Clapter is when you make a really good point and everyone claps, but they're not laughing because what you said wasn't funny. It was just something that you believe.
She had a slight resurgence in 2001 with the launch of her second sitcom, The Ellen Show. Unfortunately, due to low ratings, the show was canceled after just one season. And just when things were looking bleak for Ellen, in 2003, her career drastically changed. She voiced the character of Dory in Pixar's Finding Nemo, which secured $871 million in the worldwide box office, becoming the second highest grossing film of 2003 and holding the record for the best-selling DVD release of all time with over 40 million copies sold. She launched her third comedy special, Here and Now, which is considered by many to be her best comedy special in her catalog. Ellen was a comforting, silly, relatable, and kind comedian. She never punched down. She didn't talk about race, religion, politics, or anything that could be deemed as controversial. There was nothing dark or edgy about her set. It was mostly quirky, relatable humor.
We're lazy. We have buttons doing everything for it. There's no physical activity attached to anything anymore. Even the garage door opener. We used to have to get out of the car and open up the garage door. Now there's a button you push, you know? And the car window. This became too much with this. I don't want to churn butter. I just want fresh air. We still use that gesture if we want somebody to roll their window down in traffic. We still use that, even though nobody's got it. Because we'd look like idiots if we did this.
Ellen's relentless positivity, family friendliness, and desperation for a consistent career made her the perfect candidate as a talk show host. And on September 8th, 2003, the very first episode of The Ellen DeGeneres Show aired.
Well, thank you. It's September 8th. This is our very, very first show, and you are my very first audience.
In the early years of her talk show, Ellen quickly became a breath of fresh air in the daytime talk show space. She played up a persona that is positive, exuberant, and encouraging. During the peak of tabloid culture, cutthroat journalists who were bloodthirsty for some juicy celebrity drama, Ellen offered herself up as a safe space for celebrities to come on and just have a normal chat with a kind woman. Her spontaneous dance moves and playful, upbeat energy made viewers feel, in the words of Robin Williams, you feel like you're with a really brilliant 12-year-old. This unique approach helped Ellen draw an average daily audience of about 2.4 million viewers, launching her into the top 15 talk shows on television. Over her entire tenure as the show's host, she earned 33 Daytime Emmy Awards, including 2 for Outstanding Host and 3 for Outstanding Show. She hosted the 2007 Academy Awards and was peaking in her career. In the words of Oprah, she radiated the kind of peace and satisfaction that comes only when you're living at your highest potential. However, it was at this exact time that the cracks in the facade began to appear. Much like the writer's strikes we saw in 2003, in 2007, the Writers Guild of America were seeking increased residual rates for DVD sales. At the time, Ellen was selling a lot of DVDs. The DVD highlights from her first 3 seasons of The Ellen Show, which were priced at $24.98, has been a top seller at Target. The Guild advocating for higher residuals would mean that Ellen would make less money. Writers are the foundation that Hollywood relies on, especially Ellen. Without writers, she has no scripts, no jokes, no stories. Other talk show hosts like David Letterman, Jay Leno, and Jon Stewart were all supporting the striking members of the Writers Guild and decided to temporarily pause their shows during the strike. Conan O'Brien not only voiced his support, but also continued to pay the salaries of his writers while they were on strike.
We are back now, but sadly, we do not have our writers with us. I want to make this clear. I support their cause. These are very talented, very creative people who work extremely hard. I believe what they're asking for is fair.
But not Ellen. Ellen demanded the show must go on, telling her audience there's a writer's strike going on, and here in Los Angeles, it's a huge story. I want to say I love my writers. I love them. In honor of them today, I'm not going to do a monologue. I support them, and I hope that they get everything they're asking for, and I hope it works out soon. In the meantime, people have traveled across the country. They've made plans. They're here. I want to do everything I can to make your trip enjoyable and give you a show. Some people look at this as a positive thing. She has over 100 staff members that would not get paid if she decides to stop the show. Plus, she was also syndicated and could have contractual obligations to keep the show running. However, others see this as counterproductive to a strike. I mean, sure, she says that she supports the people who literally make her show function, but the whole point of a strike is to stop working and for powerful people to stand in solidarity with the strikers to demand change. Because of the Ellen Show continuing, some of her employees began revealing what life is like behind the scenes of the Ellen Show. A former writer for her 2001 sitcom said, "We'd watch her in rehearsals, smiling and winning us over with her charm and comic timing. Then the director would yell cut, her face would fall, and she'd level a glare at the writers. Why do you keep writing these unfunny jokes?" On one hand, you could see her as disingenuous, fake, and rude. On another, you could see this as blunt, harsh, but essential criticism from a boss to her employees. However, this next accusation paints her as a malignant opportunist. Ellen connected with a talented writer on her show, put his jokes into her stand-up act, used his words to fill 2 pages in her book, then promised him a job on her new show. When he met with a low-level producer, they said he didn't have the right experience.
Acá
and
está,
Ellen
el
pretended she
encontré, hijo
couldn't
de
do
mi puta.
anything to help. And remember, this was all the way back in 2007. Most people probably didn't know about these accusations, and even if they did, they probably wouldn't have believed them. Ellen was too graceful, too kind. Surely she is exactly the same way off screen. For the next 10 years, Ellen dominated the entertainment industry with no dents in her armor. In 2011, Oprah Winfrey's show officially ended, and it seemed like Ellen would take her spot as the queen of daytime TV. Although Ellen mostly covered entertainment, not much politics or social issues, she seemed to be the second best option to watch after Oprah stepped down. Additionally, she and Jimmy Fallon were quick to use YouTube as a tool to grow their presence amongst the youth. I would guess the majority of you watching have never watched an episode of The Ellen Show in your life, but you have seen countless clips of the segments uploaded to her YouTube in the past decade. She amassed 23 billion views on YouTube through her celebrity interviews, musical performances, and talented guests. In the 2010s, if anyone went viral, they would be on Ellen the next week, no matter how boring or uninteresting their story was. Nearly every single one of these interviews would end with Ellen giving them some sort of gift, like when she gave the Damn Daniel Kid a lifetime supply of Vans sneakers, or when she gave Mary Catherine Backstrom, a woman who went viral on Facebook for a funny video, $20,000. Now, some people only think that she's giving away this money because the brands are sponsoring the show and essentially using this charitable contribution as an ad. This was extremely evident the time she had a college student on her show who had been donating blood for 6 months just to pay for a computer, buttered her up to announce that Shutterfly was going to pay her tuition, only for her producer to say that's not the case.
Wow, that's a lot of college.
It's a lot.
Yeah, how much is tuition?
It's like more than $50,000 right now. I get a little bit of financially, but
Yeah.
it's a lot. Yeah, it's a
Well,
lot.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
And your story is very sweet. And so I talked to my friends at Shutterfly. They want to help pay for... I'm sorry. What does that mean? I just... Okay. So this is awkward, but so we're going to give you a computer.
Great. I mean,
What's it? We have the computer.
I have a computer, but
Okay, but it's a nice. It's a nice computer.
If I had the kind of money Ellen has, I would have said, well, I made a mistake. Shutterfly isn't going to help pay your tuition, but I absolutely will. Then again, this is just one mishap amongst literally thousands of charitable contributions Ellen has made throughout her career. It has been a large part of what makes her so loved. Ellen supports people and families who are facing difficult times or those she feels need to be recognized for their good deeds and hard work for their communities. After the devastating Hurricane Harvey in 2017 that tragically took the lives of 107 people, Walmart, donated $1 million to J.J. Watt's relief fund for the victims. Walmart and Ellen also gave all of these girls 4-year full-ride scholarships to university.
We've never done anything this big before. We reached out to the people at Walmart, and they want to give each one of you a 4-year scholarship.
Ellen and Shutterfly gave $22,000 to pay the student debt of a Sudan refugee who taught herself English by watching Ellen. She was also very passionate about wildlife conservation.
I am determined to do something about this. I am posting this picture on Instagram. If you're as outraged as I am, please repost it, retweet it with the hashtag #BeKindToElephants. And for everyone who does, we'll make a donation to the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust to help protect elephants. And if you're not...
DeGeneres created an anti-bullying PSA called Be Kind, which raised money for organizations dedicated to anti-bullying efforts, such as the Trevor Project and Pacer Center. This was the origin story to her entire Be Kind mantra. Nearly every single episode for over 3,000 episodes, Ellen has used her platform to accomplish a seemingly endless list of charitable contributions, and her motivation to do so was often summarized by a simple 2-word mantra: be kind. But in 2019, after 15 years of dominance, we would slowly find out that Ellen wasn't exactly the beacon of kindness we thought she was. In December of 2018, the New York Times published an article titled, "Ellen is not as nice as you think." The subject of the interview was about Ellen's return to stand-up comedy, as she just announced the release of a Netflix comedy special called Relatable.
A few years ago, I started ending my show by saying, be kind to one another. But here's the downside. I can never do anything unkind, ever. I shouldn't even have a horn in my car. Like, if someone cuts me off in a dangerous way, if I honk, they're like, Ellen?
Now, the journalist who was writing this piece was doing the interview at Ellen's house. As they were chatting, they brought up the idea that Ellen has to be kind all the time, to which Ellen's wife, Portia, walks over and says to Ellen about the interviewer, "Just remember, the nicer they are, the more they are going to screw you." The interviewer was taken aback since she had no bad intentions about her interview with Ellen. However, she did ask about the tabloid stories featuring anonymous complaints that Ellen isn't always kind to those she works with. Ellen said, "That bugs me if someone is saying that because it's an outright lie. The first day I said, the one thing I want is everyone here to be happy and proud of where they work, and if not, don't work here. No one is going to raise their voice or not be grateful. That's the rule to this day." Ellen did not realize it then, but this exact quote would validate all of the claims that were about to come out against her, creating a toxic company culture behind the scenes of her show. But none of her staff had the confidence to come out and share Ellen's secrets. That is, until the public opinion about Ellen's supposed genuine persona started to drastically change. And one of the major factors in that shifting public opinion was in her 2019 interview with actress Dakota Johnson. In the interview, Ellen jokingly accused Dakota for not inviting her to her 30th birthday party.
How was the party? I wasn't invited.
Actually, no, that's not the truth, Ellen. You were invited. Last year, you gave me a bunch of about not inviting you, but I didn't even know you wanted to be invited.
Well, who doesn't want to be invited to a party?
Well, I didn't even know you liked me.
Of course I like you. You knew I liked you. You've been on the show many times, and don't I show like?
Yeah, but I did invite you and you didn't come. So
This time you invited me?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How do you know? I don't think so.
Ask everybody. Ask Jonathan, your producer. Who said you were?
I was invited? Why didn't I go? Was it? Oh yeah, I had that thing. It was probably in Malibu. That's too far for me to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Goes on to talk about how comedian Tig Notaro performed at her party.
But Tig Notaro performed at your party?
She did.
She did a set?
She did. It was a surprise.
What did she do?
A bunch of funny stuff.
She's hilarious.
She's my favorite comedian. Other than you. I'm sorry.
No. was just talking to my favorite actress the other day, Jen Aniston.
This interview is so passive-aggressive. Narcissists don't like it when you call them out. Now, some people felt this could have been a pre-rehearsed conversation exaggerated for the sake of comedy, as many daytime talk show celebrity interviews are pre-rehearsed and calculated. However, other people on Reddit and Twitter, as well as mainstream publications, began resurfacing old interview segments that seemed to challenge Ellen's kind reputation, like her 2013 interview with Taylor Swift, where she continuously pestered her about the men that she has been dating.
Very happy. You were here with your boyfriend, Zac Efron, last time. How's he doing?
We actually never dated.
Yes, you did. So when you probably talked to him earlier today, how's he doing?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a while because we didn't date.
Yes, you did. Why do you deny it?
Because we didn't.
Oh, okay. Which song is about Zac on the new CD?
There's nothing really about Zac on the CD because we didn't date.
All right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Taylor was visibly uncomfortable but continued to laugh off Ellen's pushiness until they played a game where Taylor had to tell the audience which men on the screen she dated and wrote her songs about before she screamed at Ellen to stop. Another old interview with Mariah Carey resurfaced where Ellen put her in a similar uncomfortable and inescapable situation. In 2008, rumors had been circulating that Mariah Carey was pregnant, but nothing was official. So during their sit-down, Ellen brought up the topic to try to get an exclusive bit of information.
You're pregnant. There's rumors.
Don't discuss that.
All right, well, you don't have to answer.
That's okay. No, honestly,
You don't have to answer. Let's just toast with champagne and decide
But they've been saying that since we...
Mariah didn't want to discuss it, but Ellen wouldn't let up.
I'm not going to ask you if you're pregnant or not. I'm just
peer
going to
pressure.
say.
You see what Ellen is doing? This is peer pressure.
No. Let's toast to you not being pregnant. If you're not pregnant,
Oh, my goodness.
Mariah is now in an awful situation. Either she drinks the alcohol while pregnant or turns down the drink, essentially proving that she is pregnant.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, cheers.
Yes, cheers.
It's too early for me. I only drink it after 3 p.m.
Yeah. You're pregnant.
Mariah pretended to drink the alcohol, which essentially forced her to make the announcement that she was pregnant. What makes this even worse
แฟนๆแล้วมีความเต็มในการเต็ม
Gracias.
Is that just weeks later, Mariah Carey had to announce her tragic miscarriage to the media following her Ellen moment. Carey confirmed that she was pregnant at the time of the interview, but miscarried soon after. I wasn't ready to tell anyone because I had a miscarriage. I don't want to throw anyone that's already been thrown under any proverbial bus, but I didn't enjoy that moment. But it wasn't just celebrities. Ordinary people and audience members were often put in extremely uncomfortable and awkward situations. Like on one episode when Ellen set up a free merchandise table for her audience members. Each person was instructed to take just one item to test how honest her audience was. Well, one woman, Nancy, took a mug, walked away, then returned to the table to take a pin and a shot glass, and Ellen played the footage in front of the entire audience.
She goes back and she returns one of her stolen items and she switches it out for a hat. All right. Hi. So, look, I like that you like the product so much that you wanted to bring one back for your sister. But now when you go like to Costco or you're the kind of person, like when you go trick-or-treating and nobody's home, you don't just take the bowl. You just walk away. No. All right.
Ellen shamed the woman for taking 2 extra pieces of overpriced merchandise that was likely made by child labor and then set up a jail to put the woman in.
Sorry, that's embarrassing and everything, but, let that be a lesson to you, because you think nobody's watching you and you just need to be a good person just because you want to be a good person. You go sit in that Ellen jail over there right now. No, you'll steal stuff back there. Come here, this way. What's your sister's name?
Anna.
All right, well, Anna got you in big trouble.
Ellen was very low and petty for doing this. In March, comedian Kevin T. Porter started a Twitter thread saying, "Right now, we all need a little kindness. You know, like Ellen DeGeneres always talks about. She's also notoriously one of the meanest people alive. Respond to this with the most insane stories you've heard about Ellen being mean, and I'll match everyone with a $2 donation to the LA Food Bank." And while this Twitter thread was flooded with hearsay, rumors, blind items, stories that just couldn't be substantiated with any facts, Danielle Acevedo's story stood out amongst the rest. "When I was 15, The Ellen Show was doing a contest of fans making a bust of her and sending it to her. I worked so hard on this and even wrote her a letter. Weeks later, she used it as a prop in a game and gave it away to a random person with $500 attached to the bottom. With the suspicion that Ellen is this sadistic, evil narcissist who masks her reality with the be kind mantra, shocking allegations came to light about the harsh reality behind the scenes of working at her show. That be kind bullshit only